Hallo Leute, ich bin Seth aus den USA und ihr seht Deutsch für euch.
We're doing more basics today. A whole while back I made a video on alternatives to saying danke when thanking somebody. Today we're following that up with alternatives for replying when somebody says thank you. And actually there's a whole bunch more than you might expect. I myself was kind of surprised by how many there are when I listed them down. But before we get to that, it's sponsor time! And as ever, Lingoda are going strong with supporting DFE, and we're going strong with supporting them. So, in case you've never heard of Lingoda before, they're an online language school based out of Berlin who teach a bunch of languages, German among them, using online classes, group or private, with native speakers and a bunch of material that you can study up on before and after classes. They do this around the clock all throughout the week, so you can schedule a class whenever it's convenient for you. There is no entry barrier, so you can start at any level, and their main goal is to get you speaking fluently and confidently as fast as possible, giving you materials, homework, and anything else that helps you on your language journey, whether that be for your career, or for going abroad, speaking to friends or family in another language, or just being a langophile. If you sign up in May, you get 30% off of any month-to-month plan or the marathon. If you want to find out what the marathon is, go check out the link in the description. Basically, it's more intense than normal month-to-month plans. So the idea of the current promotion is that if you sign up by the end of May, you will still have a chance to get yourself speaking fluently before the summer. So you're well prepared in case any of us get to travel ever again. To find out more, head on over to Lingoda through the link in the description, and if you sign up to anything except the sprint, so month-to-month or marathon, make sure you use my code, which is also in the description, but also on the screen, to get those 30% off. Oh, and by the way, unlike the site-wide promotion of the 30% discount, my code is valid until June 10th, in case you want to think about it a bit longer. But this is a pretty big discount on a good product that's already fairly priced, so make sure you go check them out and consider whether this method works for you. And now I hope that you will want to thank me for giving you this information, because that is when I can use any of the words that I'll be teaching you today. Let's go. So the most common way to saying you're welcome in German, as I'm sure the vast majority, if not all of you are aware, is saying bitte. The same thing you use to say please. Bitte. Bitte, danke, bitte. There's also bitte schön, which is equivalent to dankeschön, most easily translated with pretty please, although that's not, the implications are different. So bitte schön is just same thing as bitte, and the same goes for bitte sehr, please very. Bitte, bitte schön, bitte sehr. Now these are the ones that you've definitely encountered because they are super common. Another common one is gern geschehen, with pleasure. Gern geschehen. Literally, this means happened with liking, with pleasure. Gern geschehen. Gern geschehen. Gern geschehen is a phrase on its own. It's not ever combined with anything else. It's just a reply to somebody thanking you. Same goes for gerne doch, or aber gerne doch, aber gerne doch. You will notice that most of these kind of sound like they're all one word because they are so phrasal, so they always appear in this combination, that we just kind of stick it onto each other. So it's not aber gerne doch, aber gerne doch, aber gerne doch. And then to stay with the pleasure theme, there's also war mir ein Vergnügen. It was a pleasure to me. War mir ein Vergnügen. Vergnügen means something like enjoyment, pleasure, fun even. War mir ein Vergnügen. Again, even though this is a full phrase, it's a very idiomatic phrase, meaning that this doesn't really vary. It's usually always war mir ein Vergnügen, or if you're a group, war uns ein Vergnügen. Now we get to the no problem section. In German as well, we can say kein Problem, literally no problem. Kein Problem, ach, kein Problem. Keine Ursache, literally no cause. Keine Ursache. Ach, keine Ursache. Kein Ding, no thing, ain't no thing. Kein Ding. Du, kein Ding. Kein Thema. No theme, no topic. No topic to be discussed. Nothing to talk about. This is basically the closest one to don't mention it, I think. Kein Thema. Kein Thema. So we have 4 different ones that use kein Problem, keine Ursache, kein Ding, kein Thema. By the way, keine Ursache is because it's die Ursache, so female, but das Problem, das Ding, and das Thema are all neutral, so it's kein Problem, kein Ding, kein Thema. Then we have another phrase that basically also means don't mention it, nicht der Rede wert. Oh, it's not worth talking about. Nicht der Rede wert. Ach, nicht der Rede wert. And then also, nichts zu danken. Nothing to thank me for, nothing to thank. Nichts zu danken. Now, so far, all of these are things that you would say in your standard situation when somebody says thank you, and when you're in some way happy to do whatever it was that you did. Now, there's a few that not necessarily, but tend to be used in a context where you did something, you weren't maybe not thrilled about it, but you did it because it was the right thing to do, or basically a context where you did something that you were thanked for and you were reluctant about it, or it was exhausting, or you didn't really want to do it, but you did it anyway. In this case, you would say, schon gut, all right already, schon okay, schon in Ordnung, ist schon in Ordnung, ist schon gut. It's no coincidence that these are phrases that can also be used when somebody apologizes to you. Ja, schon gut. Ja, ist schon okay. Schon in Ordnung. And then finally, I have 3 very colloquial ones to you. And tell you what, not even with these 3, we will cover everything, but I think we'll have enough for then, and they're definitely all the most common ones. So, my 3 colloquial ones are, ja, na klar. Sure, sure, na klar, or also na sicher, na sicher. Na is a particle that is used a lot in German. If you want to learn more about it, I made a video on it that you can see if you click on the little eye right now. Here, I'm not going to explain it more. It gets added onto a lot of things. Na sicher, na klar, sure, sure thing. And then we have one phrase that is used more commonly in northern Germany and one phrase that is used more commonly in the south of Germany. The northern colloquial one is da nicht für, not for that, with a bit of a strained word order. Da nicht für, commonly pronounced as da nicht für, so no T on the nicht. Da nicht für, da nicht für. And more common in the south of Germany is passt schon. Passt schon, fits already. This is also used in other contexts. This could also be a reply to how are you, wie geht's dir, or also possibly a reply to somebody apologizing, but you can say it instead of bitte schön. Passt schon. Also, again, commonly pronounced while leaving out one of the letters, namely the N in the word schon. Passt schon. Passt schon. Summing all of these up, whatever you use, and there's a lot of alternatives to choose from, pick your favorite, all of them are fine. Don't ever, ever, ever use the word willkommen in the context of saying you're welcome in German. Because willkommen, though it is what welcome means, is not ever used in this meaning context in German. There's really a plethora to choose from that you can use according to your personality. If you want to sound especially German or especially colloquial language-y, I would recommend either using one of the 3 colloquial ones, so na klar, na sicher, passt schon, or da nicht für, or kein Ding, or kein Thema. If you want to sound more formal, on the other hand, bitte is always fine, neutral setting, works in every situation. Gern geschehen is probably the most officially viable of all of them. And bitte schön also works, though it is the warmer option of the neutral ones. You might also say the one that is more female-coded, but don't misunderstand that as this can only be used by women. It's just kind of the softened or nice way of saying bitte. I personally use pretty much all of these. Why pick one when you can have so many? All right, that's it for today. Before I go, I want to thank all of the people scrolling by right now who are all supporting DFE on Patreon, which is the website that is linked on the screen right now, and it's also linked in the description. Over there, in case you don't know what Patreon is, you can support DFE financially on a video-to-video basis every time I put something out, and get a few rewards for that, apart from being on this list, which is charts that I do for episodes or other graphics, or if you pledge a little more, you can get all of my grammar scripts. And if you happen to be extra generous, you will get an ad-free downloadable versions of each and every one of my episodes, downloadable through Patreon. So thank you to everybody who's already pledging, and a special thanks to everyone pledging $10 and more. Now, your random word of the week is das Teelicht. Das Teelicht. Now I'm at a loss. I don't even know what these small candles are called in English, but literally they translate to tea light, because this is usually what you put under your teapot when you put it on one of those little ovens, which we call Stöfchen. So you learning 2 words today, das Teelicht and das Stöfchen. All right, danke for watching and gern geschehen for the video. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!